where the great spirits had spoken to the shaman. Stars filled the sky, but there was no moon. Oh, great spirits, Chihuahua said, here is my warrior dog. It is the only thing I have from my family who died in this famine. It is my most valued possession. Please, take it. Then, gathering twigs, she started a fire with the glowing fire stick. The small girl watched as the twigs began to catch and burn. She thought of her grandfather and her grandmother, her mother and father, and all the people, their suffering, their hunger. And before she could change her mind, she thrust the doll into the fire. She watched until the flames died down and the ashes had grown cold. Then, scooping up a handful, she who is alone scattered the ashes to the home of the winds, the north and the east, the south and the west. And there she fell asleep until the first light of the morning sun woke her. She looked over the hill, far out, and stretching out from all sides where the ashes had fallen, the ground was covered with flowers, beautiful flowers, as blue as the feathers in the hair of the dog, as blue as the feathers of the bird who cries, yeah, yeah, yeah. When the people came out of their teepees, they could scarcely believe their eyes. They gathered on the hill with she who is alone to look at the miraculous sight. There was no doubt about it. The flowers were a sign of forgiveness from the great spirits. And as the people sang and danced their thanks to the great spirits, a warm rain began to fall, and the land began to live again. From that day on, the little girl was known by another name. She's no longer going to be called She Who Is Alone, but now, one who dearly loved people. And every spring, the great spirits remember the sacrifice of a little girl and fill the hills and valleys of the land now called Texas with the beautiful blue flowers, even to this day. This is a book that was offered to us today by Ariel. Thank you. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Thank you. Thank you. You know, in West Africa, in a country called the Ivory Coast, I learned of a story like that, and because we're talking about sacrifice, because new beginnings often mean some sacrifice. Spring cleaning, yeah, get rid of stuff you really want to keep, but you don't need to have it cluttering up your home. Also, sacrifice means saving, like she just saved her village. It reminds me of a story that's going to be in our next play. Our play was coming up in July. The play is Spirit of the River. In that play is the story of the great queen, Boku, who made a sacrifice to save her village. Because it was an old village. It was a very old time, long, long time ago. And everybody kind of was happy. There was no drought. There was no famine. Everybody lived pretty well. They got along. They went out to their fields and working. The Queen Boku, she wasn't the kind of queen sitting on her throne waiting for somebody to serve her delicious things to eat. She was out there in the field working with the people. When they celebrated harvest, she would dance along with everybody else. When they were giving feasts, she would be served last. Make sure all the people ate first, then she would eat. Well, you know, things were going on well, but there happened to be a problem that came about. That was when some of the women were at the river, they were playing the water drum. You get a big calabash, you turn it upside down. They played with the water underneath the calabash, which is turned over like a bowl. And you give that night. They were playing that, and they heard this like explosion sound. That it didn't sound like lightning though. A different kind of explosion. It was really strange and scary. And they knew it was something to go and tell the queen about. So they stopped playing the drum. They ran back and they told the queen, there is something happening. I hear this horrible sound. It's like something breaking and shattering all at the same time. And it's coming close. I can hear it. And the queen said, yes, it is. I hear it as well. And already she had called in the elders, the council of the elders, who understand things that some of us don't because of their age, their experience. They are treasures, old people. The older, the greater treasure. They have so much experience, they can teach us. And they said, yeah, this is a very grave happening. And they called in Linganga. He's like the shaman in that story. But in Africa, we have people, different names in different societies. And this people, they call him Linganga. He came and he said, this is people who are coming to bring us harm. We must not stay here. We must leave this village at once, with no delay. Take what you can, but you must leave. And so they left. And they left thinking it's going to be okay because we're leaving the danger. And they all left and they scurried. They left all together, left their houses, left most of their things. They carried some things with them, and they left. They didn't see how urgent it was yet. See? But they got to the river. And when they got to the river, it was raging, like the river was angry. The river was almost boiling with anger. And they didn't understand. They didn't understand the river is uncrossable. And yet this horrible sound of danger was approaching. And it's scary to not know where to go. In your life, in your adventure, you don't know always where to go. But they knew they couldn't go back. They knew they couldn't go, so they had to figure out what to do in order to go forward. And they started wondering, they started worrying. And then they all asked the Nganga, because the Nganga can speak to spirits, and he can go back and forth from the world of our ancestors back to our world, as if he could just go on a train or a plane. It's not difficult for him to travel both worlds. So they asked the Nganga, what do we do? What can we do? We can't go forward at that, and we sure can't go back. We're worried. Meanwhile, the queen was calm. She was just calm. She said she knew it was going to be all right. And the Nganga said, you have to give the river what's most precious to you. The river is angry. The river is angry because of people doing wrong to the waters of this world, and we are not going to get through this river until we can make it no longer angry. Give it all that you have that is most precious. The most precious of all. And everybody started singing and took off their bracelets, gold, because Africa, particularly in certain regions, has a lot of gold. Took off their gold and their beautiful coral beads, and they were singing, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, and they threw that to the river. The river was even angrier. It was bubbling over even worse than before, as if it were insulted by this gift of material things. Because they have no real value, they're just things. Even a diamond, it's a thing put over there. It's not going to be what keeps you happy. The river was angry because they did not understand. And the Nganga said, no. That is not what the river wants. And he walked over to the queen. The queen was standing there. She was she was holding the prince. It was beautiful, 6 months baby. Chubby, delicious, just groovy, chubby, bright, shiny, poppy eyes, thick, meaty leg, baby. He was squeezing that. And he walked over to her, he looked at her. She just nodded. She knew. And she started walking toward the river. She's hugging that baby. She hugged her. She kissed her. Into the river. And as soon as she threw that child into the river became smooth as glass. Then you have hippopotamus start coming in. And you're lining up one next to the other. One next to the other. They made a bridge. Horrible sounds coming. But what the heck is this happening? Hey, no one knew what the future was. But they knew what was coming. Wasn't good. So all they could do was cross that bridge on the backs of those hippopotamus, and they went one after the other. They went one after the other. One after the other. And after everybody else had gone across, the Queen Boku went finally last to make sure that all of her people had gone first. And she left and followed them. When she got to the other side, the river began and caused it such that whoever was coming would not be able to follow them. They were saved. This sacrifice of what was most precious brought safety to the whole village. And then she saw the child right there, the body of the child floating in the river that she had crossed. She said, Bauli. That word, one word, Bauli. And the people who we call of the Ivory Coast in Western Africa, they call themselves one of the groupings. They say Baule. We have the Baule. They named themselves that in honor of this child who was sacrificed so that they could all survive. And there's a place in Ivory Coast where there's their village, their main clan, the Baule people. And they'll tell you the story. Some will tell you, well, it's a legend. But some will tell you, the griot, this is part of our story of how we came to be in this place. We had to leave where we were to come here and establish our family here because of the great sacrifice of our Queen Boku. So you can look that up and find out the story of the Queen Boku of Ivory Coast, Western Africa. And all around, there's so many stories. There's stories that will tell you how the sun became the sun. That star that you look at and brings us heat and light from the vessel. You find out how the moon got to be in the sky. You learn stories about how truth was told by somebody so small that no one thought it was important. Even when there's some stories about him, about how he even got to earn the ownership of all the stories. And how he proved he was the oldest. And how his children are the reason why the moon is in the sky. You know this one? You know it. Do you know it? Why the moon is in the sky? You know it. You know it. Do you know why the moon is in the sky? And not where it was found. The moon was found right here. It was found here on Earth by the children of Anansi. And now in the sky. And then we have stories that teach us that why we look at them as just legends or folk tales. Folk tales teach us how to be with each other, how to help each other, how to know even if it's small, you're not weak, you're not helpless. Like when the monkey and the crocodile had that thing go on in Morocco. You remember that? Do you remember? Well, how many of you know anybody who has twins? I happen to have twins. In the Congo, twins, big deal. It's a really, really big deal. They come to your house every day for a month, and they bring gifts 2 by 2. And they say, Lord, Mama, yo, sama, and they sing for the mother and the children. They have celebrations and have food and dancing, and it goes on for a full month. Well, this story of Mr. Monkey, his wife had twins. And he made a promise. Has to do a promise. Sometimes people think when you make a promise, you have to keep it, right? You think so? No matter what? No matter what? Monkey made a promise. He said to my wife, oh, I'm so proud. I will bring you your favorite fruit every single day from the forest. Buma makaku, your favorite fruit, I'll go get it every day. And he did. He went to the forest every day. He brought back all those buma makaku. She ate them. More, please. You got more. I need more. It went on and on until their side of the forest ran out of buma makaku. He made a promise. He made a promise. A promise is a debt. Make a promise, you gotta pay it. You gotta keep it. So he said, dang, I'm gonna do this. I made a promise. I brought it to her. I did. I kept it on for months. There's no more. I know on the other side of the river there is more. If I go to the other side of the river, I'll get more and keep my promise. So it's cool, right? Right? Monkey goes down to the river. He goes down to the river bank. He sits down at the edge of the river. How are you? Going swimming? Wish I could too. That's a hint. He goes down to the edge of the river. And he sits there. Okay. Puts the others were there. How you doing? Howdy. He sits there like for an hour, then he changes his position and he sits in another position for like another hour. Then I guess I'll just go back and tell the wife, I can't keep my promise. He's getting up, getting ready to go because there's a reason he cannot go across the river. You know why? You figure what? Why would he be right at the edge of the river and not just go across? What's stopping him? Why can't he go? Yeah.
Monkeys can't swim.
I don't know about other monkeys. It's like me. Not a stroke. I go in the water, they call it the rock. Straight to the top. He can't swim. So he was getting ready to give up. He was about to give up and go back and explain, you know, I can't keep my promise, but there's also soft food and mangoes and bananas. Come on, you can eat other fruits, you'll be all right. Just as he was about to turn back, giving up on that promise, along came swimming Mr. Crocodile. And he said, hey, what monkey? Why you sitting on the bank of the river there looking all gloomy? You're usually, bouncy and energetic. What's the matter? The monkey says, you know what? I made a promise I should not have made. I told my wife I'd bring her her favorite food. I can't swim. Can't go. I can't do it. And the crocodile said, monkey, come on, dude. You know I can do it for you. Get on my back. I'll take you over. Monkey didn't think it through. He said, okay. He jumped on crocodile's back and away they went. Halfway across the river, crocodile started to cry. Oh, monkey began to worry because crocodile was crying and shaking. The monkey can't swim in the middle of the river. What's going to happen? Oh, gosh. Crocodile. Wait now. Calm down, please. What is the matter? It's my wife. She's sick. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your wife. Okay, keep it moving. The doctor says if she doesn't eat a monkey's heart, will die. Oh. You know, the monkey began to worry. Being a monkey and having a monkey's heart, he had to worry. And he started thinking, dang, this is not a good place to be. At this time, I gotta think fast. Gotta think fast. Can't fight my way out of this. Ooh. So crocodile, I'm so sorry. But look at, I'm a monkey. Yes, I know. I know. Yes. And I happen to have a monkey's heart. Yes. I know. Okay, look. Here's what we gotta do. So and you know, we monkeys, we don't carry our hearts around with us. Of course, I give you immediately my heart to save your life, but we don't carry our hearts around. Look how we jump around everywhere, flipping on trees and stuff. We don't do that. Hearts are fragile. We don't carry that around. We leave them in our tree. I have my heart. I'll give you. It's in my tree back where he picked me up. Take me back, and I'll go directly to my tree, get my heart, bring it back to you to save your life. Crossing fingers, toes, and eyes. This works. You do that for me? That is so nice. Yes. Let's hurry up and go now so you know get this heart to your wife on a jiffy. Okay. Crocodile just turned around. He too didn't think it over. He took Monkey back. He took Monkey back to where he picked him up. And as soon as Monkey got close enough to the bank of this river, he jumped off, waded into little low water, zoomed to the forest, presumably to get that heart and bring it back for the crocodile's wife. Do you think he went back to the forest and got his heart and gave it to the crocodile? Yeah, because he kind of needs it himself, doesn't he? He's wearing it. It's in there. So he went, crocodile waited. And waited. And then he realized what would happen. Here's the question. Monkey went back to his house, to his tree. He had to tell his wife. Was that true? Look here. Where's my woman macaque? She's feeding for it. You promised. He said, here's some mangoes. And I have some saffron, some bananas. I even have some of your special bomb. But woman macaque, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get across the river. You know I can't swim. You married me. You knew I couldn't swim when I married. No, no. You knew what you were dealing with. I can't swim. You ate every woman macaque in our forest. Come on. They'll grow back, but I did my best. And it was a pile of fruit that he brought her, but not woman macaque. So I have to ask you a question. And every time I tell a story, I kind of worry about the answer because I hear some answers scared about the future of marriage. But he asked, I asked you, is that going to be all right? Some people say, yes, dear, I so love you. I'll eat mangoes and I'll eat bananas, whatever you think. You just talk to me. Thank you. Or she could have said, you promised, boom, I'm a cop. And that's my favorite, and that's what I'm having. And you're going to go right back out there. I don't care what you do until you come back and you find it, boom, I'm a cop. That's all I want to hear. But don't come back without it. Okay, so who's saying, yeah, vote. I'm happy to have you back, and thank you so much for whatever you're doing. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Marriage has future. And who says, get out of here and get me my favorite. And don't come back without it. Really? Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, he didn't go out in the river. He didn't get drowned. He didn't get eaten by crocodiles. But he came back and brought something. But he did not do what he said he would do. He did not keep his promise. So is a promise something you have to keep no matter what? Still, you think so? Do you have to keep it no matter what, even if it puts your life in danger? What do you think? Yes? Keep it no matter what. Just go out there and just try to swim it out until you can make it. You can find a rock to hold on to. Or, you know what? Bring her back whatever you can. Do what you can. Be safe.
Yes.
Stay safe. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see about your story later on too. Oh, man. Thank you. Do I have time? What time is it? Do I have time for that story? Yes, I have to leave here at 2. Oh, we're running out of time. It is 2. It's exactly 2. Isn't that something? Listen, you guys, you're young. You're young. So think about young. That means sometimes you're smaller. You don't have as many experiences. You don't have as much of what people use as a shield against danger. Because you go out there and just, oh, let me go out there. And the world is beautiful, wonderful. You think you just go. You know, I got friends online. Here's my friend. Let's go meet my new friend. That your mother doesn't know is your new friend.
Yes.
No, you're not.
We can
Danger. Yes, I.
it.
I know it's 2 o'clock, but I want to tell you briefly about the hen and the snake. Think about it as an internet friend you don't even know who it is, and let in your house on the internet. And actually, one day you'll set up a meeting because it's a friend, and you see that's not what you sounded like on the internet.
Let's
You're
go.
kind of older, and I don't know. I'm not going. I don't think I should go anywhere with you. I don't think I should take a ride. But the hen and the snake, we don't have a lot of time. I can let the space go for others. But
Okay.
the snake was outside in the barnyard being stabbed on by other animals. They wanted to hurt it. They wanted to kill him. And the hen was sitting on her eggs in her house. And she had such a warm, tender heart. She'd say, come in. Just come in here. You'll be safe. He slithered on in, and he was safe. But after a while, she had to go out to the marketplace, get corn, you know, stuff for the kids when they came out later on. They might need some corn, have to stock up the pantry. She came back from her errand, and she was shocked. Oh, my Lord. She came in and found the eggs cracked open, and the snake had like egg all over his mouth. Horrible. Her children gone, done. She said, how could you? Oh, I saved you. How could you do this? How could you do this? She couldn't make her mind understand. They were going to kill you. I let you come in my house. Saved you. My children, how could you do this? The snake didn't care how she felt. He just slithered out. But as he got to the door, he said, you knew I was a snake when you let me in. And he slithered on out. She was left with her misery and pain. But this is something that can happen when you let into your home someone who's not safe. And they come into your home in strange ways. Not to the front door, back, a window. Not that simple sneaky way. There's another sneaky way to do it. And they do it to kind of target young people. Because you're so, and the world's so beautiful and wonderful. And it is. But you have to be careful in wearing it too. Because there's another side of beautiful, wonderful. And those are people who target young people because you're so open-hearted and so innocent. Innocence is a beautiful thing. You don't want to change. And you want to stay a child as long as you can. You can't go back once you leave it. You got to be careful. Parents can't always be there to make you safe. But they can teach you lessons, and you can listen. On the internet, you can meet people who pretend to be friends, pretend to be your age, who are not your age, way older, and not looking to be your friend. You got to be very careful. Anybody you meet online, make sure your mommy knows, your daddy knows. Make sure your parents know those people. You have a conversation, don't keep it private. Let them see you. Someone wants to meet with you? Oh yeah? Bring them too. If you're going to have a meeting with any new friends, make sure you bring your parents and watch what happens. They didn't show up, Mommy. Yeah, they didn't show up, but saw me there. Be very careful with the internet, the Facebook, the Twitter, all that stuff. That's putting you out there to the world with everybody else. Everybody else out there, there's some good people, there's some other kind of people. Be safe. You understand? You understand? Be safe. Way, way, way better than sorry. De, wolo, de, that means what? Wolo, that's it. De, wolo. That's all we get. See you next time. Bye-bye. It's a good time. Thank you. I will see you next Sunday. Yeah, never had.